Okay, can everyone see my screen? Naomi, can you see my screen? Chat. Yes, thank you. Okay. All right. I'm an assistive technology consultant, and I'm working under a grant with Disability Rights New Jersey Assistive Technology Advocacy Center to provide assistive technology demonstrations in New Jersey. And through the magic of webinars, we can expand that to folks just about anywhere with internet access. So I'm glad that all of you were able to make it today on a July Wednesday, and looking forward to talking to you about assistive technology. Now, by the way, if you have questions anytime during the webinar, you can either type them into the chat. Naomi's going to monitor that, or you can turn on your microphone and ask questions anytime you want. This is your webinar, and I don't mind being interrupted, or you could hold your questions to the end, either way. Just move this out of the way. Okay, there we go. Our next, this is sort of a mini series of assistive technology webinars on technology for people with sensory disabilities. Next Wednesday, the 28th at the same time, 12, we're going to do assistive technology for people with hearing impairments or deafness. So if you're also interested in that topic, or you know someone who might be, please send them to this link where they could register for the webinar for next week. Okay, so I'm an assistive technology consultant based in Bergen County, which is northern New Jersey, and I provide a range of assistive technology services for children and adults with disabilities, including evaluations, training for students, staff, and families, ongoing support, webinars and workshops, modifications, and customizations. And I work in northern and central New Jersey and New York City. Sometimes I go down to southern New Jersey on occasion. I'm also providing free 30-minute assistive technology consultations for any individual with a disability, children or adult. And if you'd like to set up a free 30-minute consultation, that's via phone or Zoom, please send me an email or give me a call at the number here, and we can schedule a session. So what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about supports for these 5 functional areas for people with visual impairments or blindness. We're going to talk about reading, writing, computer, and other kinds of technology access, walking and navigation, and activities of daily living, cooking, eating, shopping, dressing, and socializing. Now, before I get started, I just wanted to make a brief distinction between someone with visual impairment or low vision and blindness. Typically, people with low vision have some degree of vision. They can see objects. They may be able to see print text if it's enlarged enough. They may or may not be able to see colors, but they do have some degree of functional vision. Someone with blindness is considered someone that has little to no functional vision. And sometimes it's important to make that distinction, because the technologies that someone with low vision might use could be different than the technology that a person with blindness would use. And so if you're working with someone who has a visual impairment, it's good to have an idea of what's the degree of their vision, what can they see, what can't they see, and what kinds of supports are they currently using, etc. And this brings us to this idea of the SET framework. The way that you match technology to a person with disability matters. The way that you think about it, the kinds of information that you gather, the order in which you do the steps, all these matter because you want to make sure that the technology you're selecting fits the person, fits the environment they're in, and fits the task they're doing that typically would be difficult because of their disability. So Joy Zabala, who unfortunately recently passed away, she's one of the pioneers of providing assistive technology, came up with the SET framework so that you do things in the correct order. So you always start with she developed it for school age kids with disabilities. So you start with the student or the individual, talk about the environment that they're working in, the tasks they're going to be doing, and the technology. So in other words, try to understand the individual's strengths, their challenges, their interests, preferences, etc. This could also include any technology that they're currently using. That's always good to know. Or what things have they tried? Step 2 is defining where the individual is doing the task. So if they're doing it at home, it's a home environment, could be a work environment, community environment, school environment. Each environment has a little bit different needs and requirements, so it's good to know where they're going to be doing it, the task. Step 3 is define the task that individual is having difficulty doing. For example, person wants to be able to read the newspaper. Reading the newspaper is a specific task, and most of us understand what reading the newspaper means. So it's good to define it. Don't just say reading, but it's good to get into specifics. It'll help you in the long run. And once you've defined those tasks that the individual wants to do easier or more independently, or for longer periods of time, etc., then you can start looking at technologies. So you might want to come up with a list of potential ones and see if you can borrow or try them. You could go to a demonstration center, for example, in New Jersey. Advancing Opportunities operates the Assistive Technology Lending Center, which is funded by Disability Rights New Jersey Assistive Technology Advocacy Center. They have a huge library of assistive technology that you can borrow. They send it to you, you try it out, and you send it back after 2 to 4 weeks. And their website has a list of all the technologies they have. You could also go to other locations such as Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey, which has, a small demonstration center. You could also try independent living centers or organizations that provide services to people with visual impairments in New Jersey. That's the New Jersey Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired. And it's really great to be able to try things out, because looking at it on the internet or looking at a catalog is one thing, but to be able to try it and actually use it is really the absolute best way to decide if something is going to be a good match for you. Try before you buy. Words to live by. So if you don't remember anything else from this workshop, just remember that. So we're going to go through functional areas to look at different kinds of technologies. And the first area we're going to look at is reading supports. And here's a number of reading supports. There's all kinds of magnifiers. There's manual and digital ones. Large print materials. Many public libraries have large print materials. You can also enlarge things on a photocopy machine. Audiobooks, for those who just want to listen and they don't want to look at the text. Audiobooks are available through a number of sources. A lot of people like Audible audiobooks, which you have to pay for. But just about every public library, I know in New Jersey, and I'm sure lots of other places, if you have a library card, you can access their digital audiobooks and download them onto just about any device and listen to it for a couple of weeks, and then you return it. There's also a great app called Bard, which we'll be looking at a little bit later. Ebooks are like your Kindle books or your other digital books that you look at on a reader. And some of those readers like a Kindle or a Fire tablet, they often have a text-to-speech feature where you can see the text. You can make the text a lot larger if you want to. And you could also have that text read aloud. Screen readers or text-to-speech are programs that work on a computer, a tablet, a phone, and it will convert digital text to synthesized speech. So it'll read that text out loud. And scanners and optical character recognition are another way of taking printed text, converting it to digital text where you can enlarge it the way you want, or you could even have it read aloud. So there's a lot of reading supports. There's also services like Bookshare or Learning Ally, which have digital talking books, and they have extensive libraries. So that's just a short list of some reading supports. So first I'm going to show you some magnifiers, and I am going to stop presenting for a minute, and I'm just going to, let's see, and we're going to go back to, I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute, and I'm going to show you a couple. Let's see, I'm just adjust my, there we go. All right, so here's a bunch of different magnifiers. First is what they call a bar magnifier, and this is just piece of paper. It's a plastic magnifying glass. Let me get something to show you, and you just lay it right on top of your reading materials, and it magnifies the text right underneath the magnifier. It's also a nice reading guide, and they come in different shapes and sizes. There we go. So those are bar magnifiers. The other thing about bar magnifiers is I mark them so I know how much they magnify, because some people know that they like a 5x magnifier or they like 2x magnifier. So it's good to know what the magnification level is on a magnifying glass. This is a handheld manual. There's no batteries involved with this. It's just a magnifying glass. And this particular one is 2x, but it's nice and big. This one is a 20x, but this also has a built-in light, so it illuminates the print underneath it a little bit better. You probably can't see that at all, but sometimes having the built-in light really helps. So the combination of extra light and the magnification is often good. This is a what do they call this? A Magnipage. So it's a whole sheet magnifier, and you just lay it right on top of your reading materials, and it magnifies the whole page. This is nice because you don't have to really move it around that much, but they're typically lower magnification. This one is only 2x. If 2x is good for you, then a whole page magnifier can be good. Here's another magnifier that has legs, so you can actually set it on a table and you can have your reading materials underneath. Or if I can untangle this string, you could also put it over around your neck, and then if you're sewing or doing crafts, you could see your work underneath your hands and you don't have to hold the magnifier. So it's a hands-free magnifier in that respect, and this is 1.5 times magnification. So lots and lots of different kinds of handheld magnifiers. Those are the manual ones. And there's also a number of digital magnifiers too. The simplest one is your cell phone. So if you just turn on the camera on your cell phone, you can just pinch and zoom. And if you're looking at print, you probably can't see that. You can just pinch and zoom to make it larger. They also make mostly free magnifier apps, which have a little bit more control. They have some little easier zoom controls, or at least button zoom controls. And sometimes you can modify the way that the image looks. You could do reverse video or high contrast. They also make dedicated digital magnifiers. One popular one is called the Ruby. It's about the size of a cell phone. It has a handle, and you really hold it over anything. The zoom feature is adjustable, so you can adjust the magnification level. And if you need something that has adjustable magnification level, and you need something that's a little kind of easy to hold, something like the Ruby is pretty helpful. All right. Let's share a screen again. Okay, so those are magnifiers. The next example of reading support is Bard, and I'm going to show you a video about the Bard mobile app. This is a app. It's also a website that is available through the Library of Congress, and they have a gigantic library of digital audiobooks that you can download onto the device or use online and listen to books. So let's take a look at this video.
NLS Bard Mobile How-To Series. How to read an audiobook.
Hi, I'm Judy.
Okay, first of all, can you, is your volume on low? Okay, let's try my volume. Can everyone see the video? Okay, great. All right, here we go.
Dixon, Consumer Relations Officer at NLS. In this edition of the Bard Mobile How-To series, I am going to cover reading an audiobook. From the Bookshelf tab in Bard Mobile, select Audiobooks. From your list of audiobooks, select the title you wish to read. You will automatically jump to the Now Reading tab, and you will hear the title of the book announced. On the bottom half of the screen, you will find the Play Stop button. Double tap this button to begin reading your book or magazine. Double tap it again to stop. To quickly access a list of most recently read titles, double tap on the Recently Read button in the top left corner. A list of your recently read titles will appear in reverse chronological order.
Okay, now one thing that's nice about the Bard mobile app, well, first of all, it's human recorded speech. And also, once you download the audiobook onto your device, you can keep it for as long as you want. It doesn't expire. You don't have to return it after a certain amount of time. It stays on your device. So if you want to go back and listen to it again a year from now, as long as you haven't deleted it, it'll still be in your audiobook library. So that's the Bard mobile app. This is free if you are registered as a person with a visual impairment or or someone who has a vision related difficulty related to reading. So in New Jersey, you would contact the state library for the blind to get registered, and then you would contact the National Library Service at the Library of Congress to sign up for BARD. Once you're signed up, you download the app and you're good to go. Okay. So our next area is writing supports. And this could include thick pencils or markers, writing guides, raised line paper, keyboarding and different keyboards, large print keyboards, Braille keyboards, voice recognition, text-to-speech for checking your work, and Braille digital devices. So the first example is an adapted keyboard. This is the Keys You See keyboard. And the main feature of this is large print, high contrast key stickers. So this particular keyboard is black letters on yellow background. And for many people with visual impairments, this color combination is especially helpful. But they have two other versions. They have black letters on white keys or white letters on black keys. So it's a good idea to try all three color combinations. These are the most common high contrast color combinations because everyone has a favorite, and some of these color combinations may actually be, they might actually tire your eyes out or cause glare or hurt your eyes. So it's important for the person that's going to use it to try it out and make sure that that color combination is the best one for them. You could also modify just about any keyboard with large print keyboard stickers. Keyboard stickers are available lots of different places. You can just Google it, and you'll find all different kinds of large print keyboard stickers and lots of different color combinations. And you stick each sticker on each of the keys, and you're good to go. Just a word of advice before you put stickers on a keyboard, just make sure you clean the keys with some rubbing alcohol, because if there's any oil from your fingers on the keys, the stickers won't stick that well. Another type of writing support, and this is typically for someone that is blind and knows Braille. And by the way, the percentage of people that know Braille among those who are blind is dwindling year by year. Blame it on computers, but less and less people are learning Braille. Especially among younger people with visual impairments. But there's still a sizable percentage of the population that does read Braille. And this device is basically an all-in-one Braille Notetaker, as well as a Braille reader. You can have Braille books in there. And the different parts of it is, first of all, you've got these keys up here, which are the Braille keyboard keys. You type Braille kind of like you type like a court reporter shorthand, where you are typing with chords. So you're going to push 2 or 3 keys down at a time, and the combination of key presses represents every key on the keyboard. The part on the bottom is a Braille display, and this is an electronic display. These are metal dots, actually pins, that either pop up or are brought down to represent Braille cells. Each one of these is a Braille cell. And you actually read a line of text by running your fingers across those Braille cells. And that's how you could read a text, digital text by Braille. Now I want to show you a short video about a Braille note taker.
mobile Braille productivity.
And this is a short video about the Braille Note, the Braille Note Touch. This one doesn't have a keyboard. You actually touch the screen, and through the touch screen, you type your Braille.
Meet the future of mobile Braille productivity. This is the Braille Note Touch, designed for every Braille user. But the Braille Note Touch is not just a note taker. It is the world's first Google-certified Braille tablet, putting Braille under your fingertips in any accessible app available from the Google Play Store. The Braille Note Touch is driven by Keysoft, the familiar experience found on past Braille notes.
Okay, so the individuals are actually touching the screen, and the screen is programmed to know how you're typing, and that's the way that you type Braille on this device, the Braille Note Touch. But it's also a computer, so you can search the web, you can send and read emails, open and close programs, and you can do that all through that one device. Excuse me. The next area we're going to look at is computer and technology access. And there's everything from large monitors, screen enlarging software, screen reading software, high contrast settings, large font settings, zoom features, Braille keyboards, which we talked about a little, Braille keyboard stickers. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the stickers. So, excuse me, for those who read Braille, but want to that need some help with keyboarding, they make Braille stickers. So it has the Braille letter for every keyboard key. You take the sticker and you put it on the key to help a person find the right key on the keyboard. And the first example of this I wanted to show you was the built-in magnifier. It's built into Windows 10, and I'll show you how to use it, and how it can be used, and what it looks like. So I'm just going to stop presenting, and now I'm in Windows. I'm going to turn on Magnifier, which is the Windows key plus the plus key. And I just turned on the magnifier tool, and here are my controls. So right now I have it at 200. Now it's at 300, and I'm moving this around with my cursor. There's also a few other features where you can customize the way things look. It also has a text reading feature as well. Let's see if this works.
Two.
Okay. Okay, so I click on the word that I want to read, and it will.
To get missing image descriptions, open the context menu. To get missing image descriptions, open the context menu.
Okay, and this is something that a lot of people don't know, that it's built right into Windows. And the thing that's nice about the built-in features
Close.
and accessibility features is they are built into just about any device that you have: Windows computers, Mac computers, Chromebooks, iPhones, Android phones, iPads, Android tablets, and you just have to know where to look for them. So I'm going to show you briefly how to find your accessibility options on an iPad. So I'm going to switch over to my document camera. which hopefully will work. All right, let's move this out of the way. Okay, let's do full screen. And so in other words, we're going to go open up your settings, and this will be pretty much the same for an iPad or an iPhone. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to go into accessibility settings. And there's a whole section, the first section, on vision. So it has voiceover, which is a text-to-speech feature, zoom for visually zooming in, magnifier, which is similar to what we saw on the Windows computer. You can change the size of the text globally. Motion reduces some of the special effects of when you're going from one place to another, and which for some people with visual impairments is distracting. And you could also add audio descriptions to videos and to some pictures if they have the content added to it. So it's all right there. And if you need more help, or you'd like to explore these settings in greater depth, the Perkins School for the Blind has an awesome website. They have all kinds of instructional materials, including videos on how to use technology for people with visual impairments. And they have a whole tutorial on getting started with the iPad for people with low vision. They also have, and it goes really through everything. So the Perkins School for the Blind is an excellent resource if you really want to learn how to use these a lot of the built-in features on the iPad, iPhone, but also lots of other technologies as well. So great resource here. I said that 3 times. Okay, the next area we're going to be looking at is walking and navigation supports. So this includes manual and digital canes, navigation wayfinding apps, and special vision, digital vision glasses, and supports. So the first one we're going to look at is something called the Aware app. This is an app that helps people with visual impairments navigate and go from place to place, either outside or inside. Now you might ask, well, isn't this the same as using Google Maps and setting it on walking? Well, for some people that's sufficient. Google Maps or some other navigation app, you just put it in the walking mode, and it's going to help you get from place to place. But sometimes those apps don't have all the supports that someone with a visual impairment might need. And then you might want to check out some of the apps that are specifically designed for people with visual impairments for navigating. Aware was designed specifically for people with visual impairments. And here we are back at Perkins. And here's a review of the Aware app. And they're talking about it for indoor wayfinding. And we're going to watch this video for a minute and get a little introduction to it.
Sensible innovations. Screenshot of the Aware app on an iPhone. Imagine walking into the building of your new office or school for the first time. Unable to find your office, your computer, even the restroom.
High school lobby.
Going to a strange grocery store.
Aisle 4. Snacks.
Not knowing whether your next step will take you to the deli counter or into a product stand. Innovations offers products and services to allow the visually impaired community to
The receptionist is straight ahead.
explore new and unfamiliar places independently and with confidence.
Gate 3 is at the end of the concourse.
Closing the information gap, Sensible Innovations delivers a completely new way for the visually impaired to thrive in mainstream daily activities.
Select styles are 25 to 40% off.
Patients of memorizing routes and landmarks because of inaccessible labels and signs are now made obsolete.
Swipe your card to your right.
Sensible Innovations presents the Aware app.
Tapping Take Me to will allow you to select a destination and get step-by-step directions. Steps change as you walk through the venue towards your destination. Aware will notify you when you get to your destination. Aware, double tap to open.
Okay, they put a lot of work into this app. It does require something called the iBeacon tags. So the tags have to be set up in the location where you're going. So this would be great for if you have a job in a specific workplace, these tags can be set up throughout the building to help you find the different rooms that you need to get to. There's also a number of public spaces that already have these beacons, the iBeacons set up so that you can navigate to where you're going. Another example of a walking navigating support is the WeWalk Smart Cane. This is like a typical cane for someone who's blind, but it has digital supports built into it to help you when you're walking around outside. And here's a video about the WeWalk. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is more information. Okay, so this is more information, not a video, but more information about the cane. You connect it with an iPhone app, and the cane helps you identify objects, or if there's a barrier or something is there's a big crack or something that's in your way, it can sense it and helps you know what's coming up. Apparently, you can also download the app for free and use it without the cane. It also has some interesting features. So that's the WeWalk Smart Cane. So moving on to activities of daily living includes cooking, eating, shopping, dressing, socializing, etc. There's adapted cooking utensils, adapting eating utensils, magnifiers, which we talked about before, item identifying apps, text reading apps, and person identifying apps. Sometimes those are combined. So the first thing I'm going to show you is kind of low tech. And let me just stop sharing for a minute. So the first item is a kitchen timer, manual kitchen timer. It has large print text, but it also has Braille that's on top, so you can feel the numbers. And so if you can't see it, you can feel where the pointer is, and with Braille, you can tell what number you're on. Of course, you could do the same thing on a smartphone. But for those who like, old-fashioned, they do make large print or Braille kitchen timers. Some other things that are nice for use in the kitchen. This is a large print and also tactile set of measuring cups. There's also a line inside that tells you the halfway mark. And then if I touch that, that's 1 cup. So the line inside is going to tell me half a cup. And if it's filled to the top, it's going to be a full cup. big button remote. They still make these. In fact, they make some that are even bigger than this. They make the like gigantic ones, but this is nice for people with low vision or that perhaps have difficulty seeing the small keys on a standard remote. And it's a smart remote that you can reprogram to mimic the function of your existing remotes. Something else that I had and I wanted to show you is just a large print ruler. Sometimes the numbers on the ruler are really hard to see, and a large print ruler might be more convenient. All right, I have to share the screen again. And the next item is something called the Orcam My Eye. And we're going to take a look at a video. This is actually a smart camera. It's kind of like a mini, almost like a mini computer. It clips onto your eyeglasses or attaches with magnets, and it'll read text. It will identify objects, and then it'll announce it by audio. And it plays next to your ear, or I guess you could wear earbuds for private listening. And here's a short video about the Orcam My Eye.
Introducing Orcam My Eye, the most advanced wearable AI for vision impairment. The tiny device magnetically snaps onto the side of glasses and instantly reads text to you from any surface. All you have to do is point.
White chocolate cookies.
Orcam's innovative smart reading feature works instantly and discreetly.
Start smart reading. Read me the headlines.
Found 2 headlines. First result, Orcam My Eye 2 named to Times listed 1. Second result, Genesis Prize Foundation.
Read me first article.
Orcam My Eye 2, an Israeli-made system to...
Orcam My Eye can also assist with your orientation.
What's in front of me?
1 door to your left and 1 door to your right.
Identifying objects and helping with your mobility.
What's in front of me?
1 person is in front of you, 1 empty chair to your right.
Seamlessly recognize faces.
Ma Jansen.
Money notes.
$50.
Products and more, all in real time, without the need for an internet connection.
That one's pretty, I really want to try that one because it just looks a little too good to be true, but I'm sure it does all of those features. Just kind of amazing. If anyone has tried the Orcam My Eye, please let me know what you thought of it. But it looks pretty interesting. Oh, this is still going. There you go. Food's ready. Oh, I wanted to show you one more large print item, which you're probably familiar with, but big button phones. These are also a favorite of people with low vision, but also good for people with limited dexterity. And they also make them has a couple of speed dial. And again, for those who like the older landline products, that's available too. All right. Here's a list of some organizations that might be helpful. Naomi, I believe, sent out a list. A link to a copy of the slideshow, and it has all the hyperlinks. And we have some New Jersey-based organizations: New Jersey Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired, the Joseph Cohen Training Center, which is operated by CBVI, the New Jersey State Library. That's who you contact if you're interested in getting signed up for BARD. Advancing Opportunities has an Assistive Technology Lending Center. That's their link. Here's the link to Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey, and some centers for independent living in New Jersey that provide supports for people with visual impairments. One is HIP, Heightened Independence and Progress, which is based in Bergen and Hudson County, New Jersey. And if you need the list of other independent living centers in New Jersey, here's the list of all of them throughout the state. If you're not in New Jersey, you can also contact your local independent living center or your county level center for on aging or for people with disabilities. On a national level, there's the Library of Congress National Library Service, which runs the talking book service, and they come in a variety of formats, including the little cartridges that you put in the special cassette players, as well as Bard, which is a digital audiobook service. There is brings us to the end of our slides. In a couple of minutes, we'll open it up to questions, but I just wanted to invite all of you to take the survey in Google Forms. It takes just a couple of minutes, and your feedback about today's presentation is always greatly appreciated. We're also looking for those who have stories about how assistive technology has impacted yourself, a family member, or someone that you work with. We're looking to collect personal stories about how assistive technology has hopefully helped you, someone you know, someone you work with, family member, etc. So please get in touch with me if you have a longer story that you'd like to give us. We like to keep track of those stories so that we can have more information about how assistive technology is impacting people with disabilities. And there's the link for the Google Forms, which Naomi has also sent to you. And here's all of my contact information. And again, if you want to set up a 30-minute free AT consultation by phone or Zoom, send me an email or give me a call, and we'll schedule a time for that. Okay, so at this point, we've got about 10 minutes. We can open it up to questions either through the chat, or you can turn on your microphone and you could actually talk to me. Imagine that. So questions, comments. I'm going to open it up to the floor. And I know Mike and Naomi have been monitoring questions on the chat. So if anyone would like to ask a question or make a comment or add to anything that I talked about, please turn on your mic, and you can turn on your camera if you want, and let us know.
Hi, Adam. My name is
Hi.
Michelle Lago.
Hi, Michelle.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't really have a question. I just wanted to let you know how much we appreciated this webinar. We, from a program in Hudson County, actually, we service families that have children with special needs, and we link them to resources all the time. So this was very, very informative. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Michelle, if there's anything you're looking for specifically, you can let me know in the future. I'd be happy to help out.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Other comments, questions, additions, technologies that you've found to be helpful for people with visual impairments?